everybody, and welcome to my channel. Tonight's episode is dedicated to Man-Child Creates. We were talking about the Lichtenberg machine. So, here you'll see that I have a box with some feet on it. And this is the Lichtenberg. So, I'm going to go ahead and unwrap it and just hold on one moment. Okay, so now I think we're set. So here's the Lichtenberg machine. What is it? Well, this is a transformer that came out of a microwave. And see if I can do this. And there is where one of the cables, you follow it around. Let's see. Okay, there we go. The one that comes out of this side is one of the cables, and the other cable is here, and that one is connected to the base. Now, before connecting this, there's a coating on there that you got to clean off. Make sure that you secure the wires, wrap them up very good. The first time I did this, the wires broke because they were able to move around. So here I use some brackets to kind of hold the wires in place so they can't move. And then there is just some miscellaneous things that I use for the Lichtenberg. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a power strip. You're going to want to make sure that the power strip is off and then go ahead and plug it in. But don't plug it into the power yet. And here is a solution. See if I can get you a better view. This is baking soda and water. I take this cup, I pull water out of the tap, I put it in the microwave for 40 seconds just to kind of heat it up. Then when you put the baking soda into it, it should fizz a little bit. That lets you know that it's completely mixed. Now for tonight's experiment, we're going to be using these two sticks. These are pine. They were cut, they're about an inch and 1/16 or whatever. You're going to get a real live time demonstration. So what you're going to want to do, you have to bear with me. I'm using my phone, and I'm not used to trying to make a video. Well, yeah, I guess I'm getting better. Okay, so, okay, there we go. I got it set on a platform. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, but what I'm doing is I'm taking the baking soda water solution and I'm coating this is Douglas fir, and I'm coating it with the baking soda water. Make sure that I get a good amount. Next, I'm going to step out of light of the camera, and I'm going to go grab a couple of sticks, because I always like to have these sitting up. And sometimes these wires don't always agree with me, and they like to bust, so I use blocks for those. So that's okay though, because these boards are going to need a moment for them to soak. Let some of the solution soak in. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I just have a couple of little cut-off blocks that I like to use for the clamps, and then I also have these other little pieces. I don't know how well you can see them, but they're just 45 pieces. So I'm going to take and I'm going to set those underneath two boards. Get those set up. Now, this time I'd like to do something a little different. I just kind of come across it, and that's where I'll take a couple of screws, long screws, and I'll place the boards on top of each other. Not trying to get a lot of the screw, just the tip of it at the moment, just so we can kind of see what it's going to do. Then I'll go ahead and connect it. And then if I need to, I can secure it using the block. Now I'll go ahead and connect the other one. This one will definitely need to be supported by the block. Now, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Now I'm standing clear of everything. I don't touch it at all while it's going. Let's turn it on and see what happens. Cord malfunction. Technical difficulties. Okay, let me double check the outlet. What's going on here? I'm not sure what's going on. There we go. This plug definitely needs a little bit of help. It's getting finicky. I think it's time to go. So, now maybe I can set this down safely. But it's like... I know that it takes a while for it to go from one side to the other. So I know that there's plenty of time. So I'll grab up the camera here. See if you can see that. I'll zoom in. You can see it going over there. And you can see the smoke coming out over there. See if I can get it back. Oh, there we go. See if I can zoom in. There you go. You can kind of see what it's doing right there. Looking back at the other side. Oh, look at that one. Let me zoom back out so you can kind of see what's going on. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set this back down. See if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't like to leave it unattended. Okay, hopefully there you can see what's going on. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it too, because this thing is just not working so well. So I think I'm just going to switch it out altogether. After all, nobody wants to get hurt. Alright, so the very first thing I do, I have another power strip. This one actually works. I have it connected to my train over there. You plug it in, make sure I turn it off, unplug it, plug the machine back in, now I'll go ahead and plug it back in. Nothing's happening, the light's off, so we're good. So there you can see it's starting to do its thing, and we'll show you more later. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these again, and again I'm going to stack them on top of each other. Notice that I'm not really touching these, I'm touching the tape. And here we go again. And there you see it going. See if we're getting anything else on the other side. Getting some activity over there. I'm going to go back to the other side because I don't want them to touch. So we're going to go ahead and shut it off. Alright, so I went ahead and shut it off. Now I'm going to go ahead and rotate the wood. Oh, it started to take there, but not quite there. So I'm going to move this one over. I'm going to move that one over. Set them back up. Turn it back on. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and try to get this thing finished. It's going to need another wipe down. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some going on right up top there. It's always a good habit to kind of keep an eye on things. I think I'm going to turn it off and give it a little bit of a wetting. It's in. Oh, I see some action. All on the other side. Can't go that far. Oh, there we go. Now it's really just take it off. And it's smoking quite a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Let's take a look at it, see what we got. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, so now we'll go and we'll move on to the next side, which feels pretty good and wet. amazing how this works. That, you know, as long as you keep an eye on what you're doing and you're paying attention and you don't touch that box over there, you're all right. I keep all the wetness over there, keeping myself dry as well. That's contained in a box, so even when I shut it off, I don't touch the box right away. I give it a chance to kind of cool down, if you will. And I've had pretty good results in the past. I'm not going to wet them any further at the moment. I'm just going to stack them back up and see what they do. Now they are kind of close together. I'm kind of looking in between the boards because when it looks like they're getting to be too close to each other, I turn it off. There we have another beautiful figure. This time we'll do this side, which already looks like it's getting to looking pretty nice. So I'm going to re-wet the boards. Normally when you first re-wet them, they don't like to take off right away. They kind of get a little bit on the stubborn side. Now I'm going to come back to doing it the way we did in the very beginning, corner and corner. And you just keep doing this pretty much until it's done. You see, like right now it's being a little stubborn, it doesn't want to go. There it goes. If the boards are too wet, it just won't take off. This board over here, when we first started, was a little bit more on the pink side, and I noticed that those burn really, really well, to where the ones that are kind of yellow don't always take off as well as the pinker stuff. But you generally get pretty good results. Now, another cool thing about the baking soda water is baking soda helps to age the wood, or give the wood an aged look without it actually having to age. Each wood is a little bit different. Sometimes you'll get like a green haze over the wood, but you sand it out. Okay, that wasn't as good as I thought it was. It looked better. But that's okay, we'll go ahead and, I think I'm going to switch boards, put the yellowish one on the bottom this time, and see. It might be a pressure thing. So we'll go ahead and we'll stack them back up. Put in the yellower one on the bottom. And I'm also going to press in a little bit to try to get a better ground. Looking pretty good. Okay, and at that point, we're going to come over and we're going to look at the finished results of the boards. So, here we go. Here's the first one. Let's turn it over. And this is kind of what it looks like. Basically, every time you do it, it always has these tree-like designs. Sometimes they'll go around the board like that. Now let's take a look at this one. A little bit there. A little bit there. Very little there. Oh, that one kind of looks like a cactus. Well, there's a nice little tree. Sometimes it takes real well and sometimes it doesn't. I'm still taking notes every time I do a burn. I like to look it over because sometimes you can see a little bit of a pattern, like here. See how it's a little dark around the inner core? Like the wood was softer there. But really just kind of hard to say, because here you have lines that are going straight through and this thing goes right up through it. This one was coming from the inside out. Well, I hope you like what you see. There's a lot more to come. Like, we'll be looking at my latest. I made a new cross-cutting sled. This one has one runner instead of the traditional two. I call this my train because it kind of looks a little bit like a train. So here you have the router table, the back of the fence. There's a jig I actually made that goes onto that, where the for where the router bit sits, you can open and close it. You can also bump one side out. This is my biggest crosscut sled, which I just got done repairing. And then finish it off with some polyurethane, give it a little bit of a shine, hoping that that will help preserve it just a little bit longer. Well, Man Child Creates, I hope that you enjoyed this video. This one was done for you, brother. And I hope you all have a great evening.